I don't need to tell you, being a dad is super busy. You're looking after the kids, you're looking after the missus, you're even trying to squeeze in a little paddle or golf game here and there. Learning about money can be right at the bottom of the list, and yet, knowing about money can make your life infinitely easier. That's why I want to give you the 5 financial fundamentals that every dad should know and that personally helped me get out of £44,000 in debt into a portfolio of over 100,000. I'm Doug, a personal finance coach with a master's in neuroscience and psychology, and I help dads get financially free by getting out of debt or even investing their first dollar. The video you're going to watch is part of a 5-day workshop that I did in my community. For access to that, as well as everything else in my community, click the link below. Enjoy.
And the idea with all of this is to like demystify finance, to make it less scary, more accessible, and see that actually there's a there's a way. There's a way forward here, and you're not stuck, and you won't be wherever you are forever. There is a way out. I've done it before. I've helped other dads do it. You can do it too. Trust me. Okay, so wherever you are starting from, know that it's all okay, and we're moving through this together as a community. And there's a lot of power in that because we're not just relying on one person, we're relying on each other to solve different problems. And especially when it comes to finding the best rates, the best apps, stuff like that, a community becomes a very powerful tool. So, with that all said, let's get into today's session. I've promised I'm going to keep these nice and short because I know time is a thing. And one of the biggest reasons people don't want to get involved with their finances is they feel like they don't have time. I'm here to tell you that time literally equals money. So I know it may take some time to do this, but I'm going to make this as succinct as possible and I'm going to make it as easy as possible because you're not going to have to work out any of these things. I'm just going to show you literally how I got myself out of debt and then £100,000 invested. Well, just short of, to be honest. So that's what I'm going to promise to you today. Big reason people don't get involved with finances is they're scared, they think it's really technical and complicated, and they also think they don't have time to sort these things out. You don't need that much time, and I'm going to save you as much as possible here. So these calls are going to be quite short, and the Q&As will make the bulk of it up. That being said, let's get into this. All right, financially fit in 5 days, not just theory, but also some tasks you're going to be asked to do. I'm going to give you information, then I expect you to do the homework. It's very simple. Get it done, and each day you're going to move one step closer to be financially fit. So you can think about this like people get physically fit. They have to start by just kind of knowing how the whole system works and knowing where they are. And that's what this is all about today. So just so you know me, and in case you don't know me, I'm going to make myself a bit smaller. I've been working as a stuntman for 12 years. And before that, I worked a lot of jobs that paid terrible. I was a nanny for Bear Grylls for a while. That was cool, but didn't pay very well. I was a primary school teacher. I was a chauffeur. And when I trained to be a stuntman, I spent all my money to become a stuntman. It was actually all my inheritance because my dad passed away during that time. Um, and then I became a stuntman, and I was like, this is brilliant. I don't have to scrimp money together anymore. I've got loads of money, and I never spent much, so I'll be fine. And then very quickly did I start spending money on the stunt badge, the Rolex, Mercedes drop top, which I always wanted, lots of suits, lots of partying. And I just thought, I'm making so much money. And I actually had a literal rule, which was if I earn thousands and spend hundreds, I'll be fine, forgetting that it's only 10 hundreds that make up 1,000. And I was spending tens and tens of hundreds. And the net result was I never looked at my finances. I never really saved money on the side, including for tax. And before I knew it, 4 years ago, I found myself £44,000 in debt. That's a problem. And it all stemmed from me not paying any attention to my money because I thought I didn't have time. I thought it was complicated. I thought, why would I spend time doing this? It's like a waste of life, and I want to be present and I want to enjoy my life. If you've thought any of these things, you're in good company. Everyone thinks this. Everyone thinks it's for the other people to work out, and actually, it's way easier than you think. It's way quicker than you think to do. And here's the problem: if you don't do it, you end up in debt, or you end up in a position that you're not happy with financially. And if you're on this course, you're probably there already. You know there's something not quite right and you're not happy with where you are right now. And like I say, time really is money. And the more time you spend not dealing with it, the more money you're going to waste trying to fix it later, trying to make up for the missed time. There's lots of equations for that, but just take my word on this one. So, what was the solution that helped me out so much? Well, I started really studying personal finance at a macro level and at a micro level. I read a lot of books. I listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts. I did little courses. It was my life. It was my life because I knew one thing is that I didn't want to be in debt. I felt like such a fraud because I had all the trappings of a wealthy person except the wealth. And I was just kind of ashamed of myself. I didn't have confidence when I spoke to girls because I was like, I'm not proud of who I am. Um, and then I was like, oh, I'm not an adult anymore. Uh, and it put a lot of things on hold for me, including having kids and starting a family. So it was like my one goal. And the great news is the same thing you use to get out of debt, the same systems is what you use to invest money and make your first 100,000 and make your next 100,000. It's the same system, which is great news. And that's one of the things I love about personal finance and money is that money is actually really pure. It's only humans that kind of desecrate it. But money at the base level is a very pure thing. And we'll go into a bit more of that. So what did I have to do to get out of that £44,000 debt? I have to start understanding the money system. I had to face reality. I had to know my start mark and I had to know my stop mark. Stop mark was easy for me because when I was in debt, I was like, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to feel the way I feel now about myself. I want to change my reality, but I had to face reality first. And a lot of people are stuck in this position. Maybe you've been here where you're too scared to look at your bank balances. You're too scared to look at taxes because you know it's bad. And like people that are physically unfit, it's those that put their head in the sand. And my brother's a prime example. I once bought him a blood test to help him stay healthy, and he said he didn't want to find out because it may scare him. I thought, well, good, because maybe you deserve to be scared. In the same way, this could be scary, but you deserve to be scared because you can fix things now. You have time on your side, but every day time depreciates. So you got to act on it now. So we're going to start today by getting to face reality, and later we'll then start to make the plan and look at the systems in place that we can help get us to where we want to go, that stop mark. So let's move on. The start mark. Now, just as a general understanding, this is how financial freedom stacks up. You start with dependence, which is when you rely on other people for money, right? You don't have your own money. It's like being a child, or a baby. No one wants to be a child or a baby, not especially not a man. You're the leader of your household. Solvency then is next, and that is when you have your own money and you can sort of pay for yourself just. That's kind of what's known as living paycheck to paycheck, which a lot of people do, which is quite scary. And then the stability, where you can pay off your bills reliably, you can be trusted, and you have a little bit of money left over. Next step is being debt free. And then next is security. And financial security is when you're able to pay off your bills with some passive income. So you've got some systems coming in. You have multiple lines of money coming in. So you can pay off some of your bills with passive income, and then you can use a larger share to look after yourself and enjoy yourself. Then you have independence, where your passive income pays for everything and you can maintain your lifestyle. And financial freedom is when your passive income pays for everything and there's no risk of losing any of it. So as you look at this, try to think of where you fit in here. Like I say, it doesn't matter because the system of getting yourself to the next level is the same. The same concept, the same first principles apply. Again, that's why I like money, because money is pure, money is honest. Right, so there we have it. Those are the different steps to it. At a very basic level, I'm trying to keep this basic. This is the money system. If you can spend less than you make, invest the difference, and forget about it, you can get rich. As Scott Galloway says, the good news is I can teach you how to be rich. The bad news is you'll do it slowly. All right. And there are quicker ways to do it, and there's more risky ways to do it. This is a reliable way. This is the way I did it. If you would like to do the same, then keep listening. I want to show you exactly how to do it.
Okay, hold that thought past Doug. Future Doug here, telling you that if you need help doing any of this or just help with your finances in general, I've helped out a ton of other dads and I'd like to help you out too. All you got to do is check the link below and come join me in the dads community. Okay, that's enough from me. Back to you, Past Doug.
So, for this to work, for this money system to work, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation, it doesn't matter who your parents were, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how fit you are, it doesn't matter how bald you are. The money system is the same. It doesn't care. Money is very honest. What you spend, what you make. Very important numbers to bring in. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes I look at my American Express card or credit card and go, I've been hacked. I've definitely been hacked. I didn't spend 4 grand this month. No way, no way. And that's a big problem because more often I look into it and I go, I definitely have. And it was because I wasn't paying attention to my money. And I want you to pay attention to your money because it is a glorious thing. Now, ways you can pay attention is by knowing your KPIs, your key performance indicators. 3 important ones are cash flow, net worth, and your core four. Now, these are important because what you measure, you can manage. Just like someone who's not eating very well will swear blind they're eating clean as anything and forget about the 18 cookies they've eaten that day. That's what we are like with our money, especially because we have these to now spend our money with. We don't even see it. If you had it in cash, you'd go like, "Oh, where's it all gone?" No, on your phone, deet, money's gone. And without tracking it, you're going to lose count very quickly where it's gone. Now, there's ways to track your money using apps. A lot of banking apps now can do it, but I like to use MoneyHub, which I'm going to show you in a bit. There's another one called LifeHub, which I haven't finished sorting out, so I'll show it to you at a different stage, and we'll go through the whole breakdown. And I think that would be a good episode in on itself because that has revolutionized how I use money. You also have ways to do it the quick and nasty way, which is what I want to do with you now. So let's go through those different start marks, those different KPIs. That's what I meant. Firstly, cash flow, monthly income minus your must-have things. And now use must-have in the more general male way of must-have. Not I must have that latest iPad. That's not a must-have. Think about it like this. What are the things that if you didn't pay, someone would come knocking on your door in the next month? Okay, that you could go to jail for not paying. Those are must-haves. Okay, these are also known as your fixed costs. What we want to know here is money that you're bringing in each month minus the money you have to pay each month. This is like base level cash flow. This is known as our fixed cash flow. All right, this is an important number. Now, again, if you use a tracking app, you can find this out pretty quickly, but I don't want you to guess this amount. I want you to know. So this may mean that you have to get your bank statement from last month. Usually your bills come out at the same time. You'll always miss a couple, don't worry about it. But for now, I want you to get, especially your housing, your transport, and your food, groceries, delivery, stuff like that, because those are the 3 biggest expenses. But you also have to have insurances, council taxes, things that come out every month. And if it doesn't come out every month, divide by 12. So my council tax used to come out once a year, so you divide by 12. Know these numbers. If you're going to use MoneyHub, use MoneyHub. If you're not, please, you can pause this video now, find out what this number is. Okay? Again, if you don't want to calculate it, you can use MoneyHub, and I'll show you how in a bit. But you can just do this using a bank account. It's very quick. Next, we have net worth. Again, I would use MoneyHub because it works it out a lot more accurately, but it's just the things you own versus the things that you owe, or rather the people you owe. Mortgages, loans, credit cards, student debt. And ideally, your net worth should be growing all the time. Again, MoneyHub will give you a nice display of this, which I'll show you in just a second. So my recommendation is often get MoneyHub, and it solves both these problems. You want to know your net worth because each year that should be growing. The only way net worth grows is if you don't spend all your money and you start investing in your future, you start paying yourself, you start building up your wealth. That's a great way to see how the wealth is going. By the way, if you pay down debt, your net worth will also go up because, of course, it's assets minus liabilities. Now, the next thing you need to know is your core four. The core four divided up into these buckets, all right? Every bit of expenditure will fall into one of these buckets. These are the recommended amounts that you should get to. For fixed costs, which we covered a second ago, housing, transport, bills, insurances, it shouldn't be more than 60%. If it's more than 60%, you're paying too much. You need to move where you live, reduce your insurances, reduce how much you eat. Whatever the case is, get that number below 60% of your after tax amount. So your income after tax, what you spend on fixed costs should not be more than 60%. Then 10% should go to investments, 10% should go to savings. The difference between these two things, long term, short term. This is something like an emergency fund. This is something like a pension. Now, this is a general rule, but even more broadly, you can think about you should be sending your money, you should be saving at least 20% of what you get. Dividing up 10-10 is a nice way of doing it, but they can change. Then lastly, you should save some of your money for fun, to just spend and enjoy yourself. Again, thinking about it like financial fitness and physical fitness, if you go on a diet that is so restrictive that you can't eat anything you like, you just are not going to do it. And this, what we're looking at here, is a very basic budget. And the way this is so basic is that every page slip you get, you just make sure you allocate 60% to a different account that is your fixed costs. You have another one that is your fund money, and you have another one that is your savings or investment. Just break this all up as soon as you get your paycheck, divide it into 60-20-20 or 60-20-10-10 as you see fit. Now, this is important because when that money is allocated in different areas, it's much easier to manage. I know so many stunt guys and other dads too that keep all their money in one account and they look at it and they go, I've got so much money. And it's a problem because they don't act their wage. What they do is look at the money and go, I've got 60 grand, I'm good. Forgetting that 20 grand is tax and 5 grand is VAT, and the rest should also be going to bills, so on and so forth. So check through your bank statements that you're not paying more than this amount. Also check that you are enjoying your money enough. So this I found is a great way to be depicted as the past, present, and future you. So if we look at this is a better way. You'll notice you want to be putting 20% to your future you, 20% to present you, which is you having fun, and 60% will go to the past you. Those are bills that you've accumulated in the past. It's a great way to understand it. But either way, when the income comes in, all you got to do is break it up into these 3 or 4 buckets, depending on if this future bucket is divided up into investments and payments. Now, the one caveat with this is that if you have debt, then 20% goes to debt. Don't forget about saving, forget about investing, just put it to debt straight away. Know those numbers, be good with those numbers. Now, that's how much you should stop paying in each bucket. But you also want to know how much you want to stop paying more broadly. So, what are you doing all this money stuff for? Sometimes people talk about having a why. Like I said, for me, when I was in debt, I didn't want to be in debt because I didn't like everything that came from it. And the pain was a great incentive for me to work very hard to get out of it. For you, if you're not quite there, if you're looking just to extend yourself, extend your wealth, then you should have a good stop mark. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to definitely stop there, but you want to have a milestone to be like, hey, I did a good thing. If I'm not mistaken, there's confetti here. Does that make? Yeah. See, like that. You want to have a little party uh, when you get to your end goals. So for me, the £100,000 goal is a huge one for me, and I'm super excited to get to it. At the moment, we're sitting at like 91,000. So that one's a big one for me. But before that, it was like 20,000 my ISA. I was like, that's dope. 20,000 my SIP. That's dope. The problem is, if it's just numbers, it's a little bit too abstract. It's also nice to have like tangible goals. So it's like, I want to go on holiday this time. I want to work 20% less. So for me, stopping working so much was very important. So I want you to think about how some of these goals may show up for you. If it's just a number, that's cool too. But if you can extend it to like an idea of what you want it to be, that's also going to help you stay motivated. But just choose one kind of goal for the moment. For me, getting out of debt was a nice big one, easy win. The confidence was there, and the systems were set up to get out of there, and that was it. All right. So, in summary, nice quick one for you. Here are day one tasks. I want to work out what level you're at. So remember that those lines of independence, solvency, all that good stuff. Work out what level you're at. Work out your cash flow, income minus your fixed expenses, the things you have to pay for. Check out your core four and see that you're not spending more than 60% on fixed. Make sure you're spending roughly 20% on fun, and then your other 20% is going towards future you. That may be debt or that may be investments. Okay, just see that that's kind of how your money's shaking up. If it's not, that's okay. We'll deal with that. And the last thing I want you to do is just to have one money goal. Just set up one money goal. Now, I'm going to put a little post that will go with this video. You'll see it underneath this in the classroom section. I want you to write your levels in there, cash flow, and let's get some conversation going about that. We can all comment about those things. Now, just to show you how this works in kind of real time, here's my Money Hub, which I'm going to have to sign back in. So, okay, so now we're in Money Hub. Now, although it's not one of your tasks because I want to give you options to do things, I would highly recommend you download Money Hub. It makes life very easy. So you can see here your dashboard shows you kind of your net worth. So this is what I want. Um, this was probably me paying off debt there, maybe. That could, 2024, that's probably too soon. I'm not sure what happened there. But you can see this is what you want. You want your money growing. Here, income versus outgoing. I wish you could have seen this when I started paying attention to my money because it was like neck and neck every month. And then as soon as I started paying attention to my money, this started happening. I started earning more than I was spending on a regular basis, and that's what you want. So this is how it'll look. Eventually, you have your budget. So because we've just gone into December, literally today, that's why it says minus 14. So it'll do your cash flow for you. But if I go back, uh, let's see, spending analysis, I think it might be. Oh, of course, yeah. So you can go back a month. Uh, but I tell you what, we can do this instead. Your dashboard here, you can kind of see this is effectively your cash flow. It doesn't give an actual number um, retrospectively, but you can kind of see what that is there. And it'll tell you. And if you go into your, this is so annoying with my face here. Anyway, you get the idea. It gives you a great kind of showdown of where your money is. You can see transport cost me 1,600 because that's when my insurance comes out, my mortgage payments here, and I'm letting you see everything here. My business expenses, bills, utilities, household. So you can start to see what your expenses are as a total. Now, what's annoying here is it doesn't let you do just fixed costs. So that's something you still have to work out. Um, but again, it doesn't take too long because you can kind of go through. This is all of my expenses total. So everything I used is there, so it makes it easier to go through, and I can filter um, as I go through there. But I think Money Hub's great for that kind of thing. Um, and then just to show you something we can look at later, this is kind of where I track my spending to. You can see here this little spreadsheet I made. Past me, I'm spending on my bills. Now this is better accurate. My fixed costs are only coming to 34% of my income. Great, because I have spare money. My future, I only put in 19%, so really I should be allocating more to my investments uh, and my savings. Fun, 15%, not bad. And I can show you in the next call how I do all of this. This is just a spreadsheet. I can give you access to this. I put all my fixed costs in here. I put all my future costs into here, which is investments and savings. Could be your debt payments too. And then here is everything, my discretionary spending that's not my fixed costs. Again, if you want more on this, we can do it in the live call. Probably makes more sense. For now, just do this for me. Work out what level you're at, work out the cash flow, check out the core for what you're spending in each department, um, and then what is your one money goal that you're working on at the moment, and let's do it together. Thanks for being here, lads. Any questions, let me know. Until tomorrow, I'm going to go to bed because it's almost 1 o'clock. See you later.